Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Big hello to the new subscribers. Just wanted to do an update and show you some interesting things on these Yamahas I've been dealing with. I've had a influx of Yamahas this year, some good, some bad, and some just showed up. So anyway, I wanted to show you, give you an update on this 40 out here that I was having the alarm issues with. So let's take a look. There she is. All right. Now, as you can see, the pink to pink, which is the safe mode wire, is now hooked back up. So what I found is I had to disconnect the VRO sensor from down in here. There was a clip, and that's where I unhooked it from, and the alarm went away. And now it will run out of safe mode with the safe mode wire hooked up correctly. I removed the low oil sensor completely. It's right there. Don't need it anymore because if you notice, there is no plastic jug there. It is gone because I have disconnected the VRO. If you look in the fuel filter, you can see there's a nice blue hinge to it, which means the oil is now mixed in with the gas in the tank at 50-1. So, and if you can look at the fuel filter there, you can see it's got a nice blue tint to it. For unhooking the VRO, I unhooked the pump. I unhooked the feed lever, volume lever that's tied in with the carb linkage, and it's just a matter of pulling out a little clip. Then you take the driven gear out of the pump, which I did, and then you basically put the pump back on, which I did down there, and then you just loop the wires to a closed system. And for the main one, I just put a bolt in there with a zip tie, and it all works out good. So now this engine is running on 50-1 mixed gas. That is not my own engine here. This is what the owner requested. He claims sometimes it would file out plugs, but that wasn't his big issue. His big issue was the size of the jug, and I'll show you that. I had it draining over here in the old bin so that it didn't make a mess, but he travels a long way, and I want to give this back to him anyway. I think it's done draining. But if you can see, that isn't a very, I mean, don't look at the fill spout, look at the size of the jug itself. That's not real big, and I mean, this guy goes all the way, well, you wouldn't know the geographical areas, but he goes a long way, and that's not much oil for a 3-cylinder 40. So I kind of get his point. He said he would have to stop and fill the thing like twice just to get to where he was going, and you know, I don't know, his preference. He's the owner, but this is a nice motor. It's got, you know, tilt and everything on it, and but now she runs like she's supposed to. Let me turn on some water, turn on the waters, and now you can see some smoke back there. But she runs good. He's real strong now, and now I can so she's got it going on now. All right, one down. One other thing I did on this motor, because I was worried about overheats and so forth, is I pulled the thermostat out. It's right here. Two 10 millimeters, pulled it out, and then This is my thermostat testing setup. I just take a propane stove I have, a little pot of water. I heat the water up. I got a thermometer there. As you can see, it goes up to 240 Fahrenheit. And I heat it up. You can just heat it till it boils. It don't matter. But I wanted to test this one right at about 160. So I just kept putting it in there. You can't just lay the thermometer onto that hot aluminum pot, or you'll get a kind of a false reading. So I just hold it. When I saw I started getting around 150, I cut everything off, put the thermostat in. Let it sit in there for, I don't know, really just 30-40 seconds, and then I could look through it and see light through it. Then I put it in that cold bucket of water there, and it closed right up. You can actually hold the thermostat in your hand and feel it closing. So this one's ready to go. The thermostat works. I tested it, and now the safe mode is hooked up correctly. We're not getting any alarms. Revs up just fine. Pea's water's really strong, and she's ready to go. Show you some other interesting things. You remember this one right there had the lower unit problems. I took his lower unit off, and it's definitely bad. You can't even shift it in and out of gear or nothing. It just won't go. So it seized up with something, who knows, but I'll use that for parts. But I told him I had one, but I also told him it was missing the bottom 2-3 inches of the skeg. He said he didn't care. He says he uses it mainly as a trolling motor for fishing king salmon. And you can see I had to put a brand new propeller on it. Because this one was like a 7 spline and the other one was an 8 spline. But it bolted all up and shifts good now. And so I'm going to get the hose over here and some gas, and then we'll start this one up. So let me get that set up, and I'll be right back. I got 1 or 2 more interesting things I want to show you. Be right back. Alright, there's the little Yamaha with the new lower unit. There's the ship handle. There's forward, neutral, reverse. Idle's a little high, it's a little sticky there. I'll squirt some lubrication on that. Creeps back up, I'll adjust it right there. But as far as the lower unit goes, he should be happy. Pea's water nice and strong. So I'll get this idle taken care of. And other than that, he needs to do a little cleaning, I'll tell him. I'll clean it a little right there and adjust that. But nice little motor. So, there we go on that one. So, that one's taken care of. That one's taken care of. Oh yeah, before we go, I wanted to show you this point of interest. Okay, you remember the Yamaha 40 that came in? There it is. And I thought she was going to be a runner, and it wasn't, because if you look at my last video, you'll see that broken fin there and so forth. But overall the thing's in good shape. But she'll run for 5-6 seconds and seize up. It's the crank bearings in it. And if you know these Yamahas, the cranks are 2-piece pressed together. So you have to have them pulled apart, then you have to have an arbor and a jig to put new rods and crank bearings in them. I've seen videos of people that swamp them, and they'll change out the top bearing and maybe the bottom bearing, leave the center bearing, and actually get by with it. But I ain't willing to put that effort into something like this. I paid $50 for it. A lot of good parts, like the tiller parts, cables, and different things. But let me show you how the world goes around here. Okay, what is that sitting in my tank? Or what does that hood bonnet say there? Well, there it is. I am now the proud owner of it. Fella brought it in here. He's a prior customer of mine, a very good customer, by the way. If you remember in my videos, that really beautiful 25 horsepower Suzuki that I did up. I mean, I took it all apart and refurbed it. Beautiful motor. He purchased that from me. He's also purchased 2 or 3 other outboards. He lives remote and runs a lodge out there. Well, apparently somebody sold him this one cheap or gave it to him or whatever, and he drug it out. I've actually cleaned it up a little, but that's how long it takes me to get another one just like the other one. This one has some small issues, but it does run. But I told him it needs a water pump. It's not pumping water. The carbs, it's sneezing a little bit and everything. But I told him, you know, at a minimum, probably $300 to get it to where it's, you know, kind of fairly reliable. But it's all there. It's got a different shift system than that other one and all, but there's the power head, so now I have 2 to do with what I want. I can probably start this one. I probably got enough fuel left in it from when I started it earlier. I don't have my can here. I got it over there by the little bitty one that I just started. Alright, get you set up, sorry. Yeah, that's good enough for you so you can see. See if she'll start right up. Guess I'll choke it. Well, you know that VRO works. But anyway, that's how long it takes me to get another one like the other one in here. What was that, less than a week? And here comes one just like that. He didn't want to spend the money on putting it back in service, and he goes, tell you what, give me a discount on the next motor I buy from you, and you can have this one, because he said it was really too big for what he needed to do anyway. So so that's how it goes around my world sometimes. So between those 2, I'll get one good one out of it. And done. And done. Thanks for watching.